Thanks for joining your main man on D&D, your next NPC, and jump these NPCs into any fantasy game that you like, baby. And now we're going to talk about the living Hyperion. Because what you gonna do? What you gonna do, brother, when the living Hyperion is living? That's exactly what we're going to be talking about right here. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I like this. Uh, so introduce this character, the living Hyperion, the Titan. One of my players wanted to play an SMR in Forgotten Realms, in Planescape, in my D&D AD&D game, and when you're doing that, when you're playing any type of plane touch, it's always best, unless your game master completely sucks, to leave it open-ended for the game master to devise something, because you're giving the game master a plot hook. As players, write plot hooks for your game masters, because if they interest your game master is going to reward you with cool scenes. You're going to get the best thing you can get in games. It's not gold, it's not magic items, it's cool scenes, because those are real, and you get to walk away from the table and take them with you. And if they're cool enough, you get to maintain them for the rest of your goddamn miserable life, jabroni. So, in creating that, I had to think, okay, what is going to be the celestial, the divine blood coursing through the Asimar veins? And we have in the game silver. Silver is a big thing. Like if I'm writing on, themes on the board, silver. We have the silver mine that was created from uh, Artemis, Silver Sun's pact with Moloch, the devil, to give them this wealth, this eternal, vibrant wealth, this river of silver that never runs dry. So we have silver, and their name is Silver Sun because of this infernal pact that was made 4 generations back for the family. If you have silver, you gotta have gold. So David's character ends up getting married into the family, marries Robin Silver Sun, one of the daughters of Hawthorne Silver Sun. You can see his D&D Your Next NPC video as well. Take him, add him to your game, strip him down. You will love him. And there will not be a dry eye in the house. And of course, his son, Balthazar Silver Sun. Balthazar's watching. You can drop one in the comments, Balthazar. And that allowed us to have silver and gold because I said, okay, we're not going to start you with abilities. You're going to start manifesting. Okay. So chill the fuck out. So we just make him basically a normal human. And the character looks very human like. So he ends up manifesting right after his wedding, or was it maybe the day before? I think it was the day before his wedding, something along those lines. He manifests gold eyes, so we start to see that signature gold eye, and that starts to give him the infravision, the dark vision, if you will, because he has the gold. As we have that man, the one who is immortal forever and a day, the living Hyperion, as his like uh, great grandfather, and we bring that blood into him, right? But he's playing the Cavalier class, AD&D Unearthed Arcana First Edition Cavalier. I led a first or second edition character in the game, and one of the things I gave him, instead of rolling 2d10 for his extra percentiles on strength and strength alone, I let him roll 2d12, and if he rolls 12, they explode. They continuously explode at all times. And I let him re-roll ones too. So he got that. So of course 12. You roll 2d12, 12 plus 12 is 24. And if we all know with Hulk Hogan, 24 is a very important number because we have the 24-inch pythons. And I did this scene with him, with Hyperion, so we're kind of introducing him. And he's doing a soliloquy. And um, I talk about, and he's thinking about, he looks at the other way, he thinks it's sinister. Because Hulk Hogan, of course, has the pythons. So I talk about, and I bring in like a little thing into a soliloquy, which is a really weird thing to do because it's not something I typically do, right? But it sort of breaks. You're sitting there and the stage lights are gone and there's nothing, not a sound, it's only your thoughts. But all of a sudden we have an interjection into your very thoughts themselves. And I forget exactly what I said, but it basically alluded, and I did like a muffled voice because I don't want to do the actual voice. That's going to give it away. All right. Then we talk about the 24-inch pythons. I'm going to do my best. I do have a cold. Hopefully the voice comes across well. I can do a very good Hogan, but so with the character, we end up going to well, it's not Arcadia. Whatever the Greek realm is called. There's a weird name for it. It starts with an A. Anyway, a cold. I'm a little foggy in the brain on that one. So in the Planescape game, this is one of the first pleasant place they end up, and they get to meet Hercules, and of course Hercules, that's going to be played by The Rock. So we have Hercules there, and Hercules wrestles one of the player characters, wrestles Frank, and let Frank get a little bit, but then it's going to be The Rock bottom at 1, 2, 3. Um, so we get Hercules in there. I have Persephone in there. I have um, not a lot of other gods, but I let Josh actually met Socrates because it's all these. It's basically the heaven for the Greeks, right? So having these sort of characters, you can put anyone you want in that heaven. The people who are essentially the petitioners in that realm, those are going to be your ancient Greeks, right? You can have the heroes. I think I had Jason from the Argonauts in there too. I don't think they actually were able to understand that, and I used Persephone in a cool scene with Nick. Um, Black Dog Lodge, Black Lodge Gaming. That's it. Um, that Nick, he was playing in the game, and I build this other mountain. Like I would have another mountain away from Mount Olympus, and of course, this is post Titanomachia, so the Titans. But you can't, brother. Absolutely not, and it won't be allowed at all. So we got this, and I set up another part of the game. When a player gets a Bible from Zeus, and they learn like some like Zeus magic, and it kind of writes about the Titans. So we get like a negative side over here, but the player character has the blood of Titans coursing through his very veins, and the golden blood itself. And if you have gold blood and you have Titan blood, you have the blood of the Hulkster, brother. So you get this character, and I build up the whole thing, and they get to this enormous, like almost like something out of the Lilliputians, right? This enormous castle, right? This Jack and the Beanstalk like castle where they look tiny, and the drawbridge falls out. The characters um, get themselves up. Well, I think on the back of a silver black phantom steed, get themselves quickly up, and only two of them get to go in there. So it's the brother-in-laws, right? So it's Balthazar and it's Frederick, and Frederick is the one that has the Titan blood in the Asimar. And when they come up there, and I do it like with a pan up, right? So you see like the boots, and I have Hogan like in the platinum style outfit, right? Yeah, for that time, and you just pan up, and this is definitely comedy. When you're doing comedy in a game, always do it very serious, bone serious, and interject the silliness no matter how far it gets. Keep it in character and keep it moving. So, and of course, the players are going to expect a little bit of cartoonish, a little bit lighter, larger than life, and when you can interject that and do it seamlessly, where you go from the dead serious to the utterly absurd and surreal, but you keep it focused, you keep it in character, you can keep it moving, you can keep it a tone shift. And when you can shift tones in games, that is a wonderful, masterful skill as a game master to have. It will make your game better. It will have other parts that stand out, and you will entertain different players in different ways. And the more ways you can entertain a player in, probably the better you're doing. And the players loved it. I mean, they were gobsmacked. So I show up and I do it like a pan up, and he's like, and then I show he's got this like fucking gold or platinum fucking chain shirt on, right? And then they show up and they see the man standing at 24 feet, 24 inches tall, and they absolutely love that, right? Because it's 24, that's the number, right? So he's not 26 feet tall. He's 24 feet, 24 inches tall, and he's standing. And they see him, and then he starts doing his fucking uh, just monologuing, right? And then he gets all fired up, and it starts infusing, and we start using powers like that, start using abilities like that for his Asimar, where he's just gets it pumped up. If he gets knocked down and he's damn near dead, right? That blood starts coursing through that god blood of the immortal Hyperion, the one who'll live forever and a day in the cosmos, in the canopy, in the lights of the sky. That's right, brother. Oh, that's right. And I do the thing, which definitely one of the most absurd things I've done. He grabs his chainmail shirt and just rips it off in the middle of his. He's explaining the story. He's explaining why he's cast out and brought Frederick here and explained his story from the humble Cooper's son. No, you had the golden eyes. You were brought in. You were adopted. You're the line of Hyperion, brother. And explaining that, and I just brought it across in the room, and it electrified the place, and everybody was really enjoying it. They were getting down and actually getting up and selling, and the players moving around, the frenetic energy in the place, absolutely fantastic. Be careful doing things like this. If you're not funny, if you're not able to maintain a group that can shut the fuck up and let you get stuff over and let you bring the absurd in, it might not be the best for you. But it was the best at the time when you're dealing with the incomparable one of the heavens themselves. So he grabs your arm, he rips your armor off, he throws his insanely magical chain armor to the ground, which of course his armor is magical, just reknits itself. But of course Hogan is going to do such a thing, and this allows us, and he's flexing and so forth, and then he brings a fucking yellow and red griffin for the Cavalier. The Cavalier then gets a griffin. He basically uses a feather, and he does a certain ritual enacted in the name of the immortal Hyperion, and brings down the griffin, brings down this thunder, and we see it, of course, in the Hogan colors of yellow and red, and bringing that infusement into it, showing the color, showing this sort of thing. So I mean, and giving the player a griffin to start to seal the deal, to start to bring a character in there that is able to sit at the table of the Father, if you will, of the celestial heights, and then he learns a spell. Astral Window, I think is the name of the spell. It's out of Toma Magic. I might be slightly wrong on the name. So the way I do that, basically, you'll see Hyperion uh, with his arm almost like out a window, right? Like I think he's like almost sitting like in a car and looking out. And we use that to some effects. You know, letting other people see it and thinking, oh my god, they're seeing it. And of course, I'll do it as my own whim, right? Whether he is or isn't able to contact Hyperion at the time, and through the other planes with this whole storyline. And then we get a thing with Frederick's character, my friend David. You see him, a big tall guy, tree folk, Langer. He has a son uh, in the game, and his son is their word being targeted by Moloch, and Hyperion calls him that stinky bull god. You know something, brother Frederick. I ought to be there. I ought to keep him out. I ought to keep darkness out, brother. We're going to keep it out right now, and it's not going to be on your son. I swear to you, brother, until you get there to do the damage, to do the thing you need to do, brother. I ought to keep that stinky bull god at bay. But just, that's right. And you're going to be there and you're going to face him. That's for you. This is for you to do, brother. This is your heroic journey. This is your time to the top of the mountain. That's right, brother Frederick. And you're going to, oh, yeah. And just start posing and just start getting really gregariously ridiculous and infusing that the comedy that way. And I'm only giving you a snippet here, but certainly it played well at the table. It was funny, and it was done very seriously in character from a cosmic entity, a Titan. I am personally a big fan of the Titans. I am definitely Team Titan in the Titanomachia. Um, they were pretty awesome gods, and being able to infuse that and to bring that aspect into a Forgotten Realms game, the in a Planescape game, right, bringing in the Greek pantheon, one of my personal favorite pantheons, and dealing with Titans, and bringing in possibly potentially who could know in the future what other Titanic propositions are there, and that brings him in. We're doing things. We're shooting his character. We're giving him astrology, and he's learning about the heavens because the heavens are important to him, right? The constellations are important. The learning the light of in the sky, the stars and the sun, all that illuminates is under the rain. Oh, that's right. Yeah. So. It gave me a time to really impose a bit of levity and a bit of fun. And you use a character here and you use a character here, but the mental telepathy, right? Because you're dealing with a Titan, you could just uh, in some of the worlds, I made it very, very hard, where it'd be like not static, but like just whispered. And I would actually even whisper, and like maybe pick up a word, but you couldn't get much in there because, first of all, you don't want to have a full divinity right in such easy approximation, such easy use. But at the same point, this divinity was designed to say, you're great because you have my blood in you. Now go out and fucking prove it. I don't need to prove for you. I don't need to do for you. I have already done for you in the DNA. But maybe I'll do just a. Oh, so you got to really put that pedal to the metal, full throttle, and go like full panorama, full color. When you're living with the living Hyperion himself, from the depths of the nebulous universe, from the cosmos, from the Titans, uh, and it allowed again for a nice subtle backdrop of Greek mythology of well, if we're here, what about this other side, and what other things are going to come out in the game due to the fact that that is the case, that there are those who are very much against even the living Hyperion, those that would stand up and bring it out to a challenge of a rival. But will it be the boot? Will it be the leg drop? Will it be the heavens colliding and clashing and dropping down onto a man for his own insolence against the living Hyperion? Absolutely. But how soon will it be? We shall see. I have definitely some very interesting things and revelations still to come in the game revolving around that. And I think when you're bringing in divinities, one of the worst things you can do with them is make them bland and drab. Drop them in color, drench them in excitement and interest and intrigue, and have the players go, "Ooh, wow, that's really something in there." And I like professional wrestling, and most of the impersonations I can do are professional wrestlers, and I can bring that into a game and add interest uh, because they're going to immediately identify that face claim, identify that person as someone who is important and perhaps potentially important to them or to the story, and they like that. But again, it did actually electrify the room. It was one of in 18 months. It really when I introduced that character and they met him. That was really one of the high points. The players were going nuts. They were really digging that. And again, the character is going to sound absurd because it's absurd and it's meant to be absurd. But when you're there, when you're dealing with uh, mythological figures, you got to really dig deep. You got to get um, your big guns and pull them out because that's exactly where they belong to be placed. And the mindset and the pomposity should certainly be there. And that's really a great thing with professional wrestling. Like if you interject them into a real world, they're unfathomably pompous, right? But then again, that's kind of what a god would be, isn't it? A god amongst men, a living Hyperion. Because what's you gonna do when the heavens run wild on you?